Next up, we're going to talk about lighting for mood. So we've already been talking about high key and low key. Thor's brother. You knew that was coming?
To make that joke.
Yeah, sorry. So high key would be when there's a lot less contrast, right? So it's like a sitcom. You're getting a lot closer to what the key light and the fill light is. Why don't we grab that can light again so we could just illustrate that real quick. Low key, Thor's brother, is a lot more contrasty. You know, why don't you come, no, you know what, I'll come to you. Why don't you back up just a touch? Right there's good. And Josh, let's correct exposure for that. No, you're good, you're good. Let's go right there. Okay. Oh man, this looks like a get out and vote. Rock the vote, man. Yeah, keep it loose. And if I were to say, go loose with this shot, Josh, what would you do? Yeah, we unlock everything, and we kind of let things breathe a little bit. We're not just fully locked down. We create some breathing room, a little bit of action, a little more energy in the frame. But go ahead and lock it back down. Look towards here, Josh. And then more that way. Yeah, that's good. Let's actually take the camera. Let's go about 2 feet that way. Let's not worry about the flare just yet. You got it? Let's actually keep coming. I got you. So I'm trying to put the shadow on camera side. That's always more interesting. You put the very bright side of the face on camera side, and it's going to look a little more flat. You're not going to get the depth that you want, but creating that layer of light, starting with the shadow, it's going to create a lot more interest, as you can already see. And this would be very low-key lighting. A lot of contrast, but I really like this actually. I kind of want to roll on it just so I can keep it. So I love how the light is shifting over and we're just getting just a bit of his eye right there. So Josh, look at my hand here. Come a little bit more this way with your head. Just a touch. A little bit more. Nope, too much. Back, back, back. Right there. I love that. Super dramatic. We got a great eye light going. And the light's just slipping over to the other eye. But look over here. Let's see if we can retain the key. Yeah. So we lose the eye entirely almost, but we still got that eye light in there, so we could still see where his eye is, so it's still alive there. So we could play with that as well, and sometimes could be very interesting. Say for a villain, say right here we're trying to, he's of two minds of something maybe. Let me go this way a little bit more. And we're visually cutting him right down the middle, which is really interesting to me. Let's bring the can light over here. Go ahead and kick it on.
Oh, okay. I have to comment now that Josh is yawning because people in the chat room have been like, Josh always looks so bored in the test shots. And then Max Smith said, can we get Josh some coffee over here? So they're making fun of you, Josh.
Josh, do something entertaining.
Look alive, Josh. Nice.
Yeah!
That's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, Josh! You know, that's a good example, actually, of dealing with stuff on set with actors. When you start to see actors sort of slip out on you, it's fun, or a really good idea to create something fun, create kind of like an ongoing joke. If you watch the on-set sort of thing that we did for Proximity, I had to ask my actor to repeatedly throw himself into the ground where there was these thorns. We tried to clear them out, but they were still there for the most part. There was like cow poop everywhere, so we might land in that. So I had to ask him, like, man, can you just go for it? We need the shot. And by making, I'd made a joke out of he had to take his socks off, so I wore a sock as a necklace. He said, if you wear my sock as a necklace, I'll do it. And I'm like, bring it on. So I have his dirty, nasty smelling sock right here on my shirt. But it became, I always look for these, and the second that they pop up, I'm grabbing for them and I'm going with it, because what happens is you create this inside joke for you, your crew, your actors, that you guys can just mess around with and now have fun with, lightens the mood a lot, and anything you can do to go that route, do that. So the second I saw him getting a little bit irritated, we could start joking about the sock again, picked his mood right back up, and you're good to go. And that's kind of an example of it. If Josh is getting bored, starting to lose him a little bit, we make a joke, we all rally together, he's in good moods again, we continue. So that actually worked out. So let's bring that back over. Are you less bored now, Josh?
Now I feel like
you're
pressured to be fun.
You're a part of it, man. Let's bring it. So go a little bit that way. And that's kind of, you can see already why you don't really want to put your fill light over there. We're getting some odd shadows. It's not quite doing what we want. You can see this little triangle shadow happening on this side of his cheek if the light would stay on for us. All right, now come more closer. Let's move this out of the way for you. Let's go towards camera a bit more. And just start trucking in. Keep it going. It's a lot nicer fill. Let's bring it up a little higher as well. There you go. And a little left, back. Now let's step back one step. That's good. So this is, not super high key, but in the range. We're getting little contrast. Let's step forward a step. And that would be super high key. That's what, you're starting to balance both those lights. We're using harsh lights, obviously. We should be diffusing this a bit. Do we have some diffusion we could throw on this real quick? Grab me a little piece of diffusion. So that's what you're going to get, like the sitcom-y feel or the, the comedic sort of film type vibe going on is when you got that really high key sort of thing. And again, let's step back a little bit more. That just reminds me of the Men in Black scene where he's like moving the desk across. It almost sounds like you're doing, or in the theater where people bring like 10,000 bags and you're trying to watch the movie and it's just chomp, chomp, chomp. That has nothing to do with anything, I'm sorry. All right, that's much better. Now let's truck it in a bit. There we go. That's a lot nicer. So a little, there you go. Let's go in a little further. All right, now we're in the high key area, and let's just slowly start backing up. So this is a big part of deciding what you want your shot to be, is how much fill you're going to have. Stop. All right, now let's turn it off. So none at all. And you've got a really extreme look. Back on. Getting a lot of fill there. We're bringing detail back. We still want a really contrasty shot, but we got just enough detail to play with later. So that's a big part of setting your scene. Thank you. You can put that down. Take a seat. That's a big part about setting your scene is you're deciding on what level of contrast you want on top of where you're putting the lights as well. We talked about harsh light versus soft light, but let's talk about angle of light. You got it happening again. I'm going to use an LED for this one. Stark, do we got a, yeah, can you come over here and do we got enough space? Yeah, unplug that, let's plug this guy in. We can go ahead and kill that backlight. You could take a seat for now. Let's get the LED plugged in. Let's swap over to daylight, I think. So angle of light is another big thing that you have in your little toolbox to try to convey. You want to get that? It reminds me of that little actor segment we showed. What happened there? You got to get that. I'm going to need that later. All right. So angle of light, right. Back to what we were talking about. So for instance, you could do something like going top lit. You want to change up the exposure a bit? And you got sort of an interrogation scene type feel. It's feeling a touch sinister. If you want to go really sinister, you can kind of bottom light them, which is a little, can be a little contrived. But if you do it a little more subtly, because of the shadows we're getting on the face, but an extreme version would obviously be this, but it's feeling more like a campfire story. We go a little higher, like this here, is because it's usually what we expect of lighting. Any lights in your house, the sun, it's all usually a little bit higher, and we're getting nice contrast. What happened? What am I missing? Okay, nothing. Look forward. You're getting nice shadows under the eyebrows with the nose. As you bring it down, it's getting a little more flat. It kind of looks like he's looking directly into the light or TV. I am blinding everyone, aren't I? Let's go the other route, shall we? So the angle of light is really going to adjust how the scene feels as well. Again, a topper, which I do love. A little bit of a fill on the other side, and that would be looking pretty great. A bottom light, not something I use that often because it's looking a little bit much, a little contrived. Go ahead and cut that off. I'm blinding myself now.
That's cool.
How you doing? Just stay right there for me. That's perfect. And then can you kick on that backlight again for me? Josh, you want to light that up?
This Josh?
You, Josh. Oh, no. Light up the cigarette, I meant. But no, that's fine. We need that on, too. So that works.
I don't smoke, so don't make fun of me when I cough.
Can we, you want to dim that down a touch for me? Yep. Sorry,
So
can you truck this back? So atmosphere. We'll talk about fog a little bit later, but you can do other stuff outside of like fog. That smells horrible. Fog and
It tastes
hazers.
worse.
Does it?
Yeah.
What does it taste like?
Like I'm licking metal.
Let's bring it this way just a touch. About let's say 1.5 feet. There you go.
Right, I'm right.
Yeah. And I did this with proximity using the sun as the backlight. Let's take it up a bit. Right there. That's good. Let's shift to tungsten. There you go. And it's just a simple added element in the scene that really does a lot. Go ahead, take another puff. And with that backlight, we're getting a really awesome look out of that. And if we move this way, playing with the backlight, don't worry about flare or anything. Go ahead and take another puff, frame him up. You look like De Niro right now. Go ahead, hit it straight forward so it's kind of engulfing your face. A little more that way. Puff, puff, my friend. That this way? So like breathe it out right here. So we're getting this really cool like shaft of smoke where the smoke is kind of revolving around his head since his head is creating this sort of shadow here. So the smoke is really getting picked up right here. And you can use that to great effect with, like villains and stuff. It's also, again, a little bit on the nose, but used all the time. I actually used it in proximity, backlit that smoke, and it looked really cool. Added a lot to the scene. Something very, very simple, but added a lot to the scene. These are herbal, so it's not deadly to anyone. Is that plugged in or is it not? Okay, so it's the idea of just creating atmosphere. I've even done it to where, you know what, swap. You want to sit here? Stand here for me? Yeah, just stand here. And just go ahead and take a puff and pretty much right in front of the lens. So now it's almost like we have a hazer or a fog machine in the room, and we don't. But we're backlighting that smoke, and it's still very, very heavy in the scene. Another trick that we did with cigarettes was in a short film I did even before Film Riot, was we took a straw, because we had like these terrible, terrible prop guns, and we taped the straw to the side of the barrel, and then made the straw very long, had someone take a puff of the cigarette, holding the gun right about here to where the camera is, then blew in the straw, and now the gun is smoking at the very end. So cigarettes and that sort of atmosphere can really add a lot to the shot.